When it comes to dropshipping and how products are advertised, typically there's going to be two companies that come to mind. It's going to either be TikTok or Facebook. Those are going to be the biggest players when it comes to advertising your products or anything for your e-commerce store. But there's one platform that's severely overlooked. So much so that because of the simple fact that not many people are using it, we can take advantage and actually get cheaper advertising and even higher profits on our products. Fewer eyes on the platform means fewer people are going to be ultimately advertising on it. And that at the end of the day is going to lead to some pretty cheap impressions and some pretty cheap CPCs or cost per clicks. A little bit more on that later though. Now, what magical platform am I talking about that is so good and so relevant, but yet it's so often overlooked? Well, it's none other than Snapchat. So in today's video, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know on how you can start running ads on Snapchat. So if that's something that interests you, if you want to charter into unknown territory with me and start really taking advantage of this severely underrated platform, then make sure you check out this video all the way through. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we go ahead and continue, everything that I'm talking about in today's video is going to be available to you in an easy to reference cheat sheet. All of the different links, all of the different resources, everything that I'm talking about today is going to be included in that doc file for you. So if you want access to that, all you have to do is go ahead and comment down below the hashtag Snapchat dropshipping and let me know what your takeaway is from this video. Once I see that you went ahead and did that, I'll reply back to you with a link to the sheet. So first things first, Snapchat. What is it? A lot of people don't really know about this platform because a lot of people aren't actually using it. So Snapchat is a social media platform just like the others, except the way it works is a little bit different. Whenever you're posting on TikTok or on Instagram or even on Facebook, you're sharing things that people can go back to and check out 1 week from now or even a year from now, maybe even 10 years from now. But with Snapchat, you're sharing moments. When you share those moments, they immediately pretty much disappear. A lot of the times, these posts are going to last up to maybe about a day at most whenever you upload to your story. But aside from that, the main premise of Snapchat is to share what you're doing in the moment, to share your life in that same moment. So if you want to share something with somebody in particular, you send them a snap, they watch that snap, they can replay it once, and then after that, it's gone forever. If you upload it to your story, it can be up there for up to 24 hours, and then after that, it's gone forever. So as you can see, it works a little bit different than your typical social media platform like Instagram or TikTok, but it's highly effective. And the thing about Snapchat is that it's actually with a completely different demographic of people. Now, because of this, because it's so different than some of the other platforms, especially when it comes to advertising, a lot of people don't see how much of an untapped gold mine it is, or how much potential there is that people are just not getting into. So let's go back to the point I made earlier about the cheaper advertising. Since a lot of people aren't advertising on Snapchat, there's not a lot of people that you need to bid against. So pretty much the way that advertising works is kind of like this. It's literally a bidding war. So imagine Snapchat on the podium and somebody saying, I'll give you $5 for this ad placement. And the other one saying, I'll give you $10. Another one saying, I only have $1. So from those three, who's going to get the bigger advantage? Who's going to get the most exposure? Who's going to be put in front of the eyes of more people? The highest bidder, the one that bid the $10. Now, since you don't have a lot of bidders bidding for places on Snapchat, you're going to be able to bid with a lot less of a budget. How much money is typically recommended to start advertising on a platform like Facebook or TikTok? A lot of people tell you to start on the low end, maybe 20 bucks, right? 20 bucks a day. And sometimes on your typical average, people are saying maybe up to $100 a day or even more. How much do you think you can start with Snapchat with, huh? Just $5.
Holy.
You can get started advertising on Snapchat for as little as about $5 a day, at least to get started testing different ads to see how that works. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's continue on track and we'll get to that in a little bit. So what's the demographic that we're looking at when it comes to Snapchat? So according to Statista, the biggest demographic is going to be people between the ages of 18 to 24. And that comes in at a whopping 38%. Then it's 25 to 34 years old at 23%. And then at third place, we have 13 to 17 years old at 18%. So as you can see, the biggest age group on here is going to be between the ages of 18 and 24. And for the most part, those are probably going to be the ones that are best targeted, or the ones that are the easiest to target. Because again, there's such a big group of people on there. So enough with the numbers and enough with talking. Let's go ahead and get started. What exactly do we need to get started running ads on Snapchat? So the first thing we need to do is actually open up a Snapchat account. Now I'm going to record my screen and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's super simple, super easy, super quick. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is open up our Snapchat app and then simply click on sign up. So we're going to sign up. It's going to ask us if we want to sync our contacts. That's up to you. Personally, I don't like doing that. Now, what's your name? My name is Mario. What's your birthday? Go ahead and set that up. Mine is going to be blurred because I can't have people knowing exactly how old I am, because then you're going to be like, dude, you're old. All right, after that, after you set up your birthday, it's going to ask you to set your username. This I like to set immediately because it's just something that I like to have ready. Now, what's our username going to be? Let's do puppy. No, I'm gonna base it off of my dog because, as we all know, I love the pet niche. So let's go with Pitbull Haven. Then we set our password. So once we have our password set, just go ahead and continue. Now we're gonna have to link our phone number. This is actually pretty important because without this, it's not gonna work. Now let's go ahead and put in our phone number and confirm it. Most of the times the phones are gonna pick it up automatically, so we don't have to actually type it in. And then it's gonna ask us if we wanna just start adding our different friends. That's up to you. If you wanna add your friends, you can. That's not the point of this particular account, so I'm not gonna deal with that. So I'm just gonna skip it. I'm gonna uncheck everybody that I see, click on continue. Now it's going to ask us to create our Bitmoji. We can do this if we want. I'm just going to skip it because it's not really relevant at the moment. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now our Snapchat account is ready to use. It's going to ask you a couple things for notifications and stuff. That's really personal preference, so you can set that however you want. And that's it. We're ready to start snapping. All right, so to get started creating our Snapchat Ads Manager account, the first thing that we need to do is just simply go to the Snapchat Ads Manager website. And to do this, we're going to have to go to ads.snapchat.com. Now, the easiest way to do this is simply going to be by going to our cheat sheet and clicking the link through there. Again, everything's going to be on there. And if you want access to that, just go ahead and comment down below the hashtag Snapchat Dropshipping. And let me know what your takeaway was from this video. Now, the other option you have is to simply Google it. But I am going to tell you this. If you do Google it, be careful on what link to click. Because when you do Google it, depending on what browser you're using, you're going to see a few different things. And the first one that you're going to see, unfortunately, is going to be the wrong one. And that's this one, the forbusiness.snapchat.com. That's not the right one. Always make sure you look for ads.snapchat.com. So once we're on the website, once we're on the Snapchat Ads Manager website, what we need to do is log in with the account that we just created. Now, our username was Pitbull Haven. Password. All right, so once we're signed in, the next thing we need to do is choose our business name. So for this, I'm just going to use the same name that I chose for my username. So I'm going to go with Pitbull Haven. Our business email, for this, I'm going to use my email over at AutoDS. And then my name is Mario. So go ahead and click on next. Now, once again, it's going to ask us to verify our phone number, except this time it's not going to be to verify our phone number for our account, our regular Snapchat account. It's going to be for the ads account. Now, after that, it's going to ask us to complete our public profile. So this is what everyone's going to see. Now here we can go ahead and upload our logo if we have one. And then it's going to ask us if we want to use our username, the one that we created, as our public profile username. So do we want to use a different one, or do we want to create our public profile with the username we chose earlier? I'm just going to use the one that we chose earlier. So let's go ahead and create public profile. And then after we create our public profile, the next thing we're going to do is have to create our ad. Now we're actually going to create the ad. Now, right now, they're actually running a pretty cool promotion that if you spend $50, you get $75. And if you spend $350, you get $375. I'm actually going to go with the $50 because that's going to help out a lot. So I'm going to do get it now. And I guess the offer is just applied to my account. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I actually start creating my account is click up here where it says create ads and then run over to billing and payments. Let's go ahead and open that. Now, this step is crucial because if we don't complete this, then we can't pay for our ads. And if we can't pay for our ads, then our ads are just simply not going to run. So this is where you need to input your information to be able to pay for your ads. So you can just simply click on new payment method and you can either add your credit card, your PayPal account. You can apply for credit if you want to do that. I don't think you should do that just yet because personally speaking, this is something that can start to get you into debt. So personally, I would stay away from applying for credit. And you can also prepay. Prepay is pretty interesting. This is something kind of different I haven't seen before. And pretty much what this does is simply allow you to add a balance that you can use whenever you want. Now, I like credit cards because I just like paying upfront or doing the PayPal method. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you. Now that we went over how to pay for our ads, before we actually create the ad, let's go over a few other important tabs on this page. So for one, you're going to have your business dashboard. This is where you're going to have your different campaigns and your progress. You can see a bunch of different statistics here. Another cool thing here is if you are dropshipping on Shopify, then you can connect your Shopify account to your Snapchat account. Now, the only other tab that I really do want to go over, simply because it's a very important one, is the Pixels tab. Just like with Facebook and with TikTok, Snapchat has its own pixel, which is an event manager recorder. So in simple terms, once you install the pixel into your website, Snapchat is going to be able to track exactly what's going on, what's getting clicks, and what's working and what's converting. This is going to make it a lot easier for you to be able to decide which ads to continue with or what products to keep on advertising. So now that that's over, let's go ahead and click on the drop down menu up here, and let's run back over to create ads. So in order to create ads, you're going to have two options. You're going to have the easy, instant, express way to do it, and then you're going to have the advanced way to do it. Let's start with the instant create. So let's go with the easy way to do things first. Now on here, it's going to ask you, what is your advertising goal? So what do you want to achieve with your ad? The best and most converting one is going to be website clicks, because that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for anybody to visit our app. We don't even have an app, so we don't need it installed. We don't want people calling us, and we're not necessarily promoting our brand. So let's go ahead and do web visits. And what URL should your ad link to? So what website are you going to send traffic to? All right, so when it comes to creating your first ad, when it comes to Snapchat, you can either upload a picture or you can upload a video. I'm going to go with a video, and I'm going to give you a few other options, but I'm also going to tell you how you can create this video. Now, a few other options first. So like I said, you can go ahead and create your own content. So you can order the product to your house, shoot a couple videos, and upload those. The other option is going to be to go to somebody's TikTok account that's using that same product and simply take that video, download it, and do a couple of edits to it. Make it kind of your own, and then re-upload that one onto Snapchat. Aside from that, there's also tons of different services online that you can send off your product to, and they can make the video for you. So you can find influencers on Instagram, influencers on Snapchat, on TikTok, send them a product and have them create a video for you that you can use across all platforms. Aside from that, you can also access Fiverr. On Fiverr, you can find tons of UGC creators or user-generated content creators that are going to do the same thing for you. Now, quick tip, if you do decide to create your own content, one of the easiest ways to do this is going to be directly on your phone. And there's two apps that I always recommend that I personally use. So the first one is CapCut. I love CapCut, and I actually use the premium version. That's the one that I use for almost all my videos. The other one is InVideo. InVideo is also another good platform, and you have access to some pretty good features for the free trial. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take a video that I had previously recorded and I upload it to my TikTok account. Now, this is advertising a pretty much indestructible ball. And this is what I did, and these are the reactions that I got. This one in particular is actually one of my first ones that I uploaded, but it did very well. It got close to 10,000 views, and it was only, I think, my third or fourth video. So let's go ahead and play this really fast.
So this good boy likes to destroy everything.
And pretty much all I'm saying here is that this good boy likes to destroy all the toys because he's a pit bull or part pit bull, and toys don't stand a chance, except for this one. This one is actually the first one that I ever got him, and it's lasted, I think, about 7 or 8 years now. So I did that. I explained what I did. I explained a pain point, which the pain point was you got a pit bull who destroys all toys. What's the solution? A toy that he has not destroyed in years. That's something rare to see with these types of dogs. So this is a pretty good ad creative. Of course, it could probably be done a little bit better, a few different changes, maybe a different change, let's say for the scenery, maybe put it in a nice grassy yard. It could do a little bit better. But aside from that, it did pretty well. Like I said, it got almost 10,000 views. It's got 672 likes and about 28 comments. So it did pretty good. Now, I don't have the original video for this. I deleted the original file, so I'm going to need to re-download this. Now, you could use this for pretty much any other TikTok video that you want to download. So I love using snaptik.app because I could just simply paste the URL of the TikTok video and download it. All I have to do is just watch an ad, but it's not a big deal. So once we have our ad ready and have it uploaded, the next thing to do is design your ad. That's kind of what they call it. So here we're going to do the name of our business. I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to keep it as Pitbull Haven. Then we're going to do our headline. So the headline to display in the ad. You can see everything through a little preview here on the side. So as far as the headline, let's do something simple. The indestructible Pitbull ball. I totally misspelled indestructible. And call to action. So on the call to action, there's quite a few different ones that you can choose from. And there's going to be 3 that are going to be the most relevant. The first one is going to be get now. The second one is going to be order now. And then the last one is going to be shop now. So I'm going to go with order now. But right now, I can't express enough the importance of A and B testing. You're going to need to test different ads. You're going to need to test different call to actions, test out different ad deliveries. So maybe test out, instead of a video, do pictures. And you're going to have to see which one works best for you. So let's go ahead and click next. Now, our ad delivery. So what's going to be our location? This is going to be up to you. This really depends on where you want to dropship, but take a few things into consideration. For one, Snapchat, it's a global app. So Snapchat is accessed throughout the entire world, but the biggest dropshipping markets are going to be the United States and the United Kingdom. So personally, right now, to just get things started and start testing out the waters, I'm going to stick to the US. And then later on, I'll start expanding to a few different regions or a few different countries. So this, I'm going to leave as is. I'm not going to touch that. And then as for demographics, this is where we're going to choose our demographic or the people that we want to target. Now, I'm not going to go based off of gender. I'm going to target both males and females because both males and females have dogs. Now, as far as the age range, I'm not going to target people from 13 all the way up to 50 because if I show my ad to this many people, I'm probably going to end up losing out on money simply because a lot of people are going to see my ad, but it's going to be a lot of people that are irrelevant. So earlier we said that the biggest demographic of people on Snapchat are going to be between the ages of 18 and 24. Now, I'm not going to go as young as 18, but I am going to go up to about 20. And then I'm not going to go as young as 24 because people have dogs and people love their dogs regardless of their age, and people are going to play with their dogs no matter what. So I'm going to go a little bit older than that, but I'm not going to go into the demographic of people that are too old to use Snapchat or that aren't necessarily on Snapchat. So I'm going to stick to about 35 to 40. In this case, I'm going to do 35. Now, as far as the language, that doesn't matter. I don't care if you speak English or if you speak Spanish or whatever it may be. Now, when you're targeting your demographic of people or when you're trying to find out who you can start sending your different products to, like different influencers, you can get a bit disorganized because it can start to be a lot of information. So because of that, in our cheat sheet, I'm going to have an audience spreadsheet. Now, that audience research spreadsheet is going to ask you a couple different questions. So that way you can keep track of who you're going to be targeting and who you're going to be working with. So here you have a couple questions. The first one is, who are the authority figures, any big brands or any influencers? So in your niche, look for people that have over maybe 50,000 followers and are consistently active in their community. Then you can start to put those different names in here, whether that be influencers or brands. Then what type of media are your audience engaging with? So what's something that interests them? If we're talking about pets, then maybe a pet's catalog, maybe a book that has to do with dogs. But here, as a few different examples, we're targeting people that go to the gym. So you can see that people that are interested in women's health magazines or women's fitness digital magazines. So you can start typing all that down here. Now, what types of events do they attend? So maybe conferences, maybe different types of trade shows, pet shows. And what other relevant products can you associate with this? So we were talking about our indestructible dog ball. So maybe a tennis ball, maybe a giant tennis ball, maybe a dog bone, maybe a flying saucer that returns back to you when you throw it and it tricks your dog. I don't know. Any product that can be relevant to your niche or to the product that you're currently selling. The link to this sheet is going to be in the cheat sheet. So make sure you check that out so that way you can stay a bit more organized. Because honestly, once you start running a lot more different ads and you start getting into different niches, it can start to get a bit hectic. So next up, we have the advanced targeting. Now on here is when you can start to get very specific. Now on here, you're going to have the Snap lifestyle category. So Snapchat pretty much uses all of their data to group people into certain categories that they think would work for whatever you're trying to sell. So in this case, we can go ahead and click on select category. And here we can see people that are interested in adventure seekers, maybe surfers, beauty mavens. So here, what we're going to do is look for something that has to do with pets or animals. So it doesn't look like we have anything there. It's not anything to do with fitness or foodies or gamers. So let's just go ahead and type in pet. And there we go, pet product shoppers. That's exactly what we need. So people are grouped into either PetSmart or Petco. I'm going to add all. And that's what I'm going to keep it at. I'm not going to get a lot more specific than that because over here, I can see that my audience size is already at 10.8 to 52 million people. That's an insane amount of people. But based off of what we're going to be using our budget on, it's showing that we're going to reach about 10,000 to 32,000. But that's with a $50 budget. And we're not going to do that. We're going to go a lot less. So let's continue on. As far as devices, you can get very specific here on who you want to target in terms of what device you're using. So do I want to target people that are only using Androids? No, because what does that have to do with dogs, right? The only reason you would do this is, let's say if you're offering something that's specific to iPhones or specific to Android phones. So this part is We're going to leave that at the default. And here we have our budget and duration. So this is where we start to get a bit sensitive, I guess you can say, because this is where our money is going to start to get involved. Now, starts immediately. We want to start as soon as we click the publish button. Select an end time. That's really going to be up to you. Do you want your ad to stop, let's say 1 week from now? Do you think you might forget to turn it off? Things like that can factor into your decision whether or not you want to set an end date or if you want to end it yourself. Personally, I like to end it myself because I like to see how the results are going. And if I see that maybe there's a bit more traction starting to come in, then I can just keep it going on for longer. So as far as our daily budget, we said earlier that Snapchat is not necessarily one of the most oversaturated platforms to start advertising your products on. And it's true. And because of that, we're not going to go with our $50 budget that Snapchat automatically set for us. What we can do is we can do a $5 daily budget and keep that running for maybe 2 weeks and come back in a week later to see how it's running. Now, when we're taking into consideration however much we want to put in towards our budget to advertise our products, we really need to take into consideration everything that we're paying for. That includes all of our different subscriptions, any domains we have to pay for, any website fees, anything that's associated to money that's coming out of our account. Because it can really be detrimental if we put in too much money to our ads and we're not getting enough return. So one way that you can do this, or one way that you can start to be able to offset that and be able to increase your budget for your ads while decreasing your budget for everything else, is going to be by starting off with a trial for $1 for your Shopify store. So that way you can start fresh. You can go ahead and get started for your first month for just $1 and include automation into your package as well for that same dollar. Now, I understand that a lot of people don't want to start a brand new store because it takes a long time to just get your store up and running and just have it designed properly. Some people can't even design their stores to begin with because, again, it's not for everyone. And trust me, I completely understand. But that's why I use AI to build my store. Now, to do this, it's super simple and it's literally going to take just a few clicks. So the first thing you need to do is create an account with AutoDS. Once you sign up with us, you're going to have access to tons of information, tons of resources, all of which can help you make more sales, can help you get better products, and even market your products. Now, once you're signed up to the AutoDS platform, this is the next thing you have to do. So click on up here where it says, in my case, it says Shirt Pop USA. But if this is the first time that you sign up with us, you're going to have the option to add a store. If not, click on your store and then click on Add Store. Now we're going to select our store type. So for this, we're specifically going to go with a Shopify store to build with AI. So click on that, go ahead and continue, and then go with the default option. It's going to be the middle one to use AI to generate a pre-built Shopify store. Now we're going to choose our niche. Of course, we're going with the pet niche. So I'm going to choose pets over here, and I'm going to click on next. And then once you do that, then AI is going to be building our store for us. Then we're going to have our store information. So make sure you save this. Now, if you don't save this, you are going to get an email with all of this information going to whatever email it is that you registered with AutoDS. So just in case it's on there, but make sure you take a copy of this just in case. Now we need to open our Shopify store. If you're already signed on to a Shopify store, then all you have to do is simply just copy this over, copy over the email that they give you. And then same goes for the password. And the password, we just go ahead and click login. And now this part is actually pretty crucial because without this, we can't actually open our store. So confirm your billing cycle, go ahead and input all of your credit card details. And then from there, you'll have access to a fully pre-built Shopify store. And it'll pretty much look like this. So you have this right here, and it's already going to be loaded up with a few winning products. Those winning products are handpicked by some expert dropshippers, and they're proven to sell. So you can choose any one of these products to start advertising onto your Snapchat. Remember, you don't have to upload videos. You can simply take a few of these different pictures and you can upload those pictures as your ad. Now, as you saw, this is super easy to start. It's very easy to build a store with AI. And the only way you can gain access to this is by signing up through AutoDS. Now, if you want to learn more about this, or if you want to learn more about the build your store with AI, then you can check out this video right here. In it, I explain everything that you need to know on how you can get started with that. Aside from that, we are going to need to also input our business address. So that is a required field. So make sure you put that in. And then it's going to ask you for your payment details. As you can see, it doesn't have my credit card on it, but if I click on PayPal, it's going to have my PayPal information on here. So as you can see, it has my Mario business account, and all I have to do from here is simply click on publish. So before we do publish it, let's see how many people we're going to be reaching. Now, our delivery estimates are going to be a targeted size of about 10.8 million people to about 52 million people. That's an insane amount of people, but we're not going to target all of them. Now, our reach, because of our budget, is going to be to about 1.5 to 4.5 thousand people a day. As far as clicks, Snapchat is estimating that we're going to get about 22 to 65 clicks. So if you're okay with that, let's go ahead and click on publish. Okay, I guess I'm just waiting for the ad to publish, and it's going to publish whenever that little space Snapchat guy reaches maybe the moon. I don't know. But our ad is publishing. All right, so that's how you publish your simple Express ads. Now let's do a quick advanced ads. So we're going to click on this. And now it's going to be a little bit different. So as you can see, our screen changed a little bit. Now our objective. Do we want to increase awareness, or do we want to promote different places? Our consideration. Do we want app installs? Do we want to drive traffic to our website? Do we want to drive traffic to an app, etc.? Or do we want conversations? I don't want conversations. So let's do the most relevant one like last time and drive traffic to our website. Let's set a campaign name. So for this one, we're going to do campaign test 1. I'm not going to get too specific right now. Now status, do you want to set it as active, or do you want it to start as paused? I want it to start running immediately. So let's do active. And you also have this option right here, which is a create split test. So if we turn this on, then we have a bit of testing that we're able to do. So you can start testing different variables this way. You can either get creative or test different creative strategies. You can also test different audiences. So do you want to test people that like dogs overall, or do you want to test people that like specifically pit bulls? Well, you can get very specific with this. So different placement strategies. What this means is your ad is going to be placed on a few different places. So it can be placed either while people are scrolling through stories, or while people are looking through the Snapchat shows, or whatever it is. And then at the end, you have the goal. So which one of these goals do you want? And again, we're going to stick to the same one. So I'm actually going to turn that off. I'm not going to go with that just yet. And then like previously, you have a start date. As always, we do immediately. And now you have a daily spend cap. So how much do you want your campaign to spend per day? Do you want to have a daily budget? If not, you can leave this blank. You can just let your ads roll as much as you want. The other option is a lifetime spend. So do you have maybe $500 that you want to spend specifically with ads? You can put that here and just let Snapchat do what it does with it. Now, the thing with this is that the daily spend cap, you are going to have a minimum of $20. So if you do anything less than that, let's say we do 19, it's going to tell us that our spend cap must be at least 20. So let's just do 20 for now. Let's click on next. And then we have our ad set details. So this is where we're able to attach our pixel, and you also have Snap App ID tracking. Now this one's not really relevant to us because if you read what it says, it's telling you that Snap App ID is to track actions Snapchatters take in your mobile app. So this is only if you're promoting your mobile app, so that's not relevant. Now, our budget and schedule. Here we can set our budget. So here we can set our $5 daily budget. Now, let me clear something up really fast because I know this can potentially get confusing where you have your daily spend cap, but then you also have your budget. So how does that work? So our daily cap is going to be for all of our different ad sets put together. So if we have new ad set 1, new ad set 2, new ad set 3, new ad set 4, and new ad set 5, and each one of those have a budget of $5, that means you're going to have a minimum daily budget of $25. And that's going to be over our daily spending cap. So if we have a daily spending cap of $20, once all of those different ad sets reach $20, then our ads are going to stop running for that day. All right, so now we're back to our ad set details. Sorry about that. I just needed to clear that up. So we don't have a Snap Pixel right now, and we don't have an app, so that's not relevant. Now our budget is going to be $5. Our start date is going to be immediately. I'm not going to set an end date. And then we have our goal. So what's our goal? Our goal is going to be landing page views or clicks. So do we want people to click on our ad, or do we want people to view our landing page? I want them to click on our ad to go to our website directly or to our product page directly. So here, I'm going to leave that there. And then we can go with either an auto bid, a target cost, or a max bid. Now the auto bid is pretty much giving Snapchat your money and telling them, do what you think works best. Then the target cost is going to be giving Snapchat your money and telling them, do what you think works best, but make sure that we stay under our budget. And with max bid, we're pretty much going to be giving Snapchat our maximum bid, while at the same time trying to keep an efficient CPA or cost per action. So I'm going to keep it at auto bid because I'm just going to give it to Snapchat and tell them, you know what, do what you think works best. You know your platform better than I do. And then aside from that, we have our placements. So do we want automatic placement, or do we want to choose our placements? Remember how I said earlier, placements are where your ad is going to be shown on the app, whether that be on the stories, on the shows, or anywhere else. Our locations, we're going to keep at United States. Our demographic, I'm going to choose again what I did previously, which I think was actually, let's do a little bit of testing. So now I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go down to 18, and this I'm going to increase a little bit. So I'm going to increase it to about 45 this time. So I'm going to do a wider range of people. I'm going to keep the genders to all. Languages don't matter to me. Now, as far as advanced demographics, here we can choose a few things that honestly, depending on what you're selling, aren't really going to be relevant. So I'm not going to try to target people that are making about $100,000 to $200,000 a year. Honestly, the product that I'm selling right now is not that expensive, so a lot of people are not going to be struggling to pay for it. So this is not going to be relevant to us. This you might want to choose if you have a very high ticket item that you're drop shipping. So now as far as the audience, we're going to use the same audience as before. So we're just going to target people with pets. So pets, pet supply stores, keep it at that. Then again, we have the devices. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to leave it at all of them. And then we have the delivery. Here, you're just telling Snapchat whether you want your ad to start as active or paused. Then you have some third-party tagging. This is not really relevant just yet, especially if you're just getting started. So we're just going to go ahead and skip that part. Now, looking at our ad estimates, we can see that we have our $5 budget. It's pretty much the same thing as before, 1.5 thousand to 4.5 thousand people to reach, except this time they're not necessarily guaranteeing any clicks. Well, it's not like they ever really guarantee clicks, but the clicks here are starting at 0 to 68. So really, at this point, it's really all going to depend on how well our ad performs and how good of a job we did actually making the ad. So now let's click on next. Then here it's going to be the same thing as before. You can go ahead and check your different ad details, except now you have the single image or video, or you can choose to simply only do a story ad, or maybe just an ad that's displayed under collections, or an AR lens. This is pretty cool, but this is completely irrelevant. But if you are able to create some sort of AR for your ads, obviously later on down the line, if you find a very successful product, something like this could be very helpful. But for now, we're going to stick to just single image or video. We're going to keep it simple. Our ad is going to be called the Indestructible Dog Ball. Our brand name. We're pretty much just filling everything in the same way we did previously. Now they're going to ask us whether we want to make this shareable. Of course we do. Now our media. Do we want to upload something new? Do we want to create something directly on the app? Or do we want to browse what we already have uploaded? I'm just going to use the ad from before. So I'm going to browse, put that one. Now our call to action for this one, I'm going to switch it up. And I think the last one I did order now. For this one, I'm going to do get now. Now this is pretty interesting. So you have the option to switch the standard button color. So depending on the color of your profile picture, you can change the color of the Get Now button. And that's something that kind of just relates to the entire theme of your brand or your store. Now, if you have a very heavy website, so if your website takes a long time to load because you have some very high quality images on there, or for whatever reason, you can do this. You can do the smart prefetching. If you turn this on, pretty much what happens is your entire website is going to be loaded a lot faster. So what it's going to do is it's essentially going to be grabbing data from your website before the user even clicks on Get Now. Now that I'm just going to leave it disabled. That's not something that I want to mess with right now because you are going to have to do some optimization to your website. Now let's continue on with our delivery. And on our delivery, you can go ahead and add any trackers based on impressions or clicks. Now this starts to get into some pretty advanced stuff, so we can go ahead and leave this blank for now. It's not going to be relevant. And after that, we're pretty much done. All we have to do is simply click on review and publish, make sure everything is good to go, everything is according to what we set, and then we just publish our campaign. And that's it. Now, one thing that I do need to let you all know is when it comes to building your ad, you need to A/B test. I mentioned this before, but let me tell you a little bit more about it now. So on here, you have your campaign. Your campaign is to drive traffic to your website. But under that, you have your ad set, which is where you have all of your different details on where you're going to place it and all that. And then you have the actual ad. So the ad details. Now on here is the actual details for the specific ad. Now what you can do is you can create multiples of these. We can simply just go over here and click duplicate ad set, and we can create a complete duplicate and then change a couple things around. So let's do that really fast. And then it's going to duplicate both of them. Now on here, I can go ahead and change this over. So add 2. Maybe for this one, I'm going to target people that are actually in between 30 to 45 maybe. But for this one, let's say I'm just not going to put any predefined audience. So I'm going to let Snapchat do its thing and show it to essentially everybody. So we can click on next on here, and then I can change this and put a picture instead of a video. So now as you see, you have ad 1 and then you have our ad 2. So when it comes to A and B testing, my suggestion is create maybe 3 different ad sets, targeting a few different people, maybe using a different type of ad, and see which one is working best. Give it about 1 to 2 weeks, come back around the middle of the second week and see how your ads are performing. From there, if there's one that's actually gotten you a few sales, you can leave that one. If there's one that hasn't even gotten any clicks, delete it. It's wasting you money. And then if you have one that's getting you a few more impressions, but really it's not converting, it's not getting you any sales, even though you are getting clicks, you might also want to take that one off as well. And then just focus on the one that is getting you sales. Then you can start scaling. You can increase the budget on that ad and start testing out different ad sets that are a bit more relatable or a bit more relevant to the one that's actually winning. And that's everything that you need to know on how you can start running Snapchat ads. If you want us to cover more Snapchat content in the future, let me know down in the comments below. If it's something that enough of you are interested in, then we'll start making some more videos around it. Remember, if you want access to the cheat sheet, all you have to do is go ahead and comment down below, hashtag Snapchat dropshipping, and let me know what your takeaway was from this video to gain access to the cheat sheet with all of the different links and references that I talked about in this video. Huge thank you once again to everyone for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. If you did, make sure you smash that like button because you obviously enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos the moment that we post them. Huge thank you once again to everyone for watching. My name is Mario with AutoDS, and I'll catch y'all next time.